Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, July 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, HCTI, a boatload of volume, very solid price movement. So definitely got to think a lot of people are watching this one moving into Friday. So these levels down here were from a previous annotations, and sure, they're still they still pertain to the chart. They're just not really relevant anymore. And from a presentation standpoint, I don't want to risk causing clutter and confusion because there's lines everywhere. So let's try to keep this as clean as possible. So the first T dynamic here is we have an overarching good solid pattern here that you got to think a lot of other people will be watching. And I make that comment about a lot of other people watching because when a lot of people are watching the same pattern and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while nothing's guaranteed to happen, it's more than rational to think that it, like I said, could create some good movement. So there is the bottom part of the pattern. Let's change this to green for support. And just to make sure everybody can see the pattern, let's keep it one color so we have our area of resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move right here. For you golfers, I'll try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed that the price is going to explode upwards. But would it be shocking if something like this happened and then you got a really nice move up through there? That would not be shocking. So again, is that guaranteed to happen? It's not. Is it a valid question to throw out there as a possibility? Absolutely. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, OPEN. And overall, the chart's hanging in there. I talked about this yesterday, and this will mean a little bit more, make a little more sense if you watch yesterday's video, but it's a quick recap. Definitely the level that I would say very, very important, moving and staying above, is going to be that green line down there, which right now the value is at $1.81. So $1.81, important area to watch. And you can see today, didn't get anywhere close to it. In fact, it actually separated to the upside, which is a little disappointing. And again, this will make a little bit more sense if you watched the video from Wednesday. But if you did, I talked about that purple line there and how that would be a key area of resistance now. And I mean, you just can't make that stuff up. Former area of support now acting as resistance. So yes, moving forward, right now that purple line remains public enemy number one that you want to see the price try to get back above. Current value of that right there at $2.97. So those will be the two main battlegrounds to watch in the near future. $1.81 key support, $2.97 key level of resistance. But from the big picture point of view, as long as the price stays somewhere within this area, well, then you can make the argument that the price is consolidating out at a higher level. And from a broad standpoint, that's what uptrend building is all about, consolidating at higher areas. So sure, going sideways, not nearly as exciting as, these explosive moves. But again, from the big picture point of view, sideways consolidations at higher levels is still healthy nonetheless. So we'll see how it closes out the week on Friday. Next one, LIDR, and we have ourselves an interesting situation, a lot of perspective that goes into it, meaning if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper that bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 seconds, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart looks absolutely terrible for you. But if you do care about the bigger picture, the price does still have plenty of opportunity to build a higher base, and as I was just discussing, from the broad scope of things, that's what it's all about. Building higher lows is how those overall uptrends are constructed. In the near term, though, let's talk about a couple of key areas. I think a lot of people have probably drawn in that trend line right there. So that just goes back to that idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, where if a lot of people are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, doesn't guarantee anything, but it makes it plausible. So if the price comes up here and pushes up through there, I think that is a valid question to throw out there of, hey, if that price can break through there, will that create additional buying pressure? So keep an eye on that dynamic if you like to try to play breakouts. And then in terms of areas of support, continue to watch these lines down here. They're kind of irrelevant right now, but just based on the way that they move and their natures, meaning, this is the 50-period simple moving average. As time goes by, that line's going to move higher and higher, and it'll get more and more relevant as Friday and then next week play out. So keep an eye on that level there as the main area of support. But yes, as far as kind of the interesting near-term level, let's see if the price can break back up above that red trend line. Next one, IXHL. I'm going to go through this a little quicker because I want to respect your time as much as possible. And you just heard me talk about this pattern on a previous one. But we have, our area of resistance right here. We have our support right there. And then let me just keep it the same color. So resistance, support, very explosive move right there. golf hole down here, we are looking at another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here is that this one happens to not be a penny stock. This one's up above the dollar mark. So maybe you like to avoid penny stocks. You like to play stocks for at least that are a dollar or above, but you do like bull pennants. So IXHL fits that bill. And I mean, from an overall standpoint, very, very impressive uptrend. And as long as more bull pennants are formed within an uptrend, well, that in and of itself implies that not only is the trend continuing, but it's getting that much stronger. Next one, NCNA, and this is an absolute wild one. I'm not quite sure if this was actually a real print or not. In fact, I guess we can try to take a... Okay, no, that looks like that was just a fat finger trade. Doesn't really change out a whole lot, other than because this area up here is an area of resistance anyways, because that's where that first spike happened. But it's weird that the fat finger hit the high of where it had hit previously. So again, not because of this area right here am I considering this an area of resistance, but I am considering an area of resistance because of that point right there. So from an overarching standpoint, key battleground to watch from a resistance standpoint, right up there at 0.065. And then in terms of areas of support, and this is a good example of why I've talked about this level in the past, but we've been talking about the perp line in previous charts, and you can see this is behaving exactly how you would want to see it behave from a bullish standpoint. Did a great job right there of honoring as support. Did a good job right there. So moving forward, definitely want to see the price stay up above these areas, which put it right around 0.053 cents. So 0.053, very, very important. If the price were to come down there and break below it, and all of a sudden you start to have the price essentially going back to where it was. And when prices are going back to where it was, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. But no doubt about it, pretty wild day today, but we'll see if the price can, like I said, stay above that line and then try to curl back upwards and continue on with the uptrend. Real quick, want to take a break and give you a solution that you may be seeking, and that is you want to be a day trader. You want to have unlimited day trades every single day, but the pattern day trading rule is holding you back from being able to do that. Well, there is an option out there that allows you to become a day trader. Again, day trader being defined as making as many day trades as you want every single day. So if you're interested in learning more, it's what I'm doing. And you can learn more about it and see it in action as I've been live streaming at 11 a.m. if you want to check that out. But make sure you check out the link I'll put in the description area too. And you could get yourself $50K in buying power for $102. And like I said, it puts you into a market where there's no pattern day trader rule. This market is open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. So there's always an opportunity to find some time to trade. And this market moves very, very quickly. So if you're a day trader and you like quick movements, you like volatile movement, you like exciting movements, then this is a market that will definitely deliver in that regard. So check out that link, and if you do decide to go with it, use code CLAY to get the current promotions. Next one here, TSLL, brutal day with the big gap down right here. And then even after the gap down, the price decided to bleed some more. But what's making this interesting headed into Friday is that the bleeding stopped, the price leveled off, and even right now, the price has got a little bit of an upwards move to it. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there is this big gap down, and just because it's now going sideways and working its way back upwards, does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom, and for sure guaranteed this is going to head back upwards. But is it at least plausible? Is it at least a reasonable scenario to throw out there? And in my opinion, it absolutely is. So keep an eye on that dynamic, and nothing fancy here from the support side of things other than just where did the bleeding finally stop? And that was right there at the $10.20 mark. So like I said, no fancy logic behind that other than that's just where the bleeding stopped. If the price is going to continue on up, first key battleground to watch right up here at that high of $10.95. And the next key area you'd want to watch from a resistance standpoint is that pink line there, which is the 200 period moving average currently valued at 1136. So absolute beat down today, but this action here makes it interesting. Is this the start of a bigger curl in the upwards direction? Grab your popcorn for Friday. Next one, AIRE, and once again, going to go through this pretty quickly because you have already heard me talk about this before, but we have the same general pattern right here. We have our area of resistance. We have an area of support, and just because I cannot help myself, let's keep it all the same color just to make sure everybody sees it. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the nice upwards move right here. We have a golf hole down here. So we're looking at another bull pennant pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, SOXS. And I like this one because I think there's a couple of very well-defined levels, and therefore got to think self-fulfilling prophecies are a very real thing. And that first area right here at $7.55. If you look through here, you can see that this is a pretty well-defined level as essentially the bottom part of the past couple of days. And the price has bounced off that area several times. Now, does that mean it'll for sure bounce off that area again No, absolutely not. But is it at least reasonable to think that it could bounce off that 755 mark? Absolutely. So also just from a kind of a general framework standpoint, in terms of the health of the chart, staying above 755 is certainly going to make the chart look the healthiest, from a bullish side of things. In regards to areas of resistance, the other dynamic you got to think a lot of people have done is drawn something very similar to this right there. Maybe they've connected it with that high right there. But either way you want to draw it, the same general idea is true, is that while, yes, the bulls have kind of stepped in here and not allowed the price to push down, the sellers are quietly pushing downward. So that just leads to the big question here of who is ultimately going to win the battle. Are the buyers going to win the battle with a break to the upside? Are the sellers going to win the battle with the break to the downside? That's a big question mark heading into Friday, so we'll see what happens. Next one here, NVDA, and just kind of funny and kind of crazy to think that, woe is anybody that thought NVIDIA would actually stay down. Obviously, this movement here was crazy, was nasty, and lo and behold, it just needed a couple of days, and now it's essentially right back to where it was at these highs from over here. So like I said, just kind of a little comedic irony that, who would have ever thought that NVIDIA would actually stay down or go down for any amount of time, as it has just essentially slowly crept right back up to where it was. So on that note, key battleground to now watch moving forward right there at 174.25. Nothing fancy behind that. That's just simply where it got rejected previously right there. The price is well within striking distance. So that doesn't mean that it's for sure going to break, but it's more than plausible to think that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow is where the price puts in all-time new highs. So 174.25, keep a close eye on that as the main battleground. In regards to levels of support, the ideal level, meaning what's going to make this chart look the best, definitely if it just stays above that purple line right there. But even if it doesn't fall above or stay above it, by no means the end of the world, because you still do have the pink line right there, the 200 period with a very strong upward slope to it. So keep an eye on that. But as of right now, the price isn't anywhere close to the purple line, let alone the pink line. So I guess now that I think about it out loud, it was kind of no point in talking about the pink line anyways, but it is what it is. But moving forward, all eyes on 174.25. Let's see if the price and the bulls can push to new highs and see if that creates even more upside momentum. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and rough day on this one with the earnings, but we now have some interesting dynamics here, and especially this area right here, and going back to the whole idea of those self-fulfilling prophecies. But you got to think a lot of people have noticed that this high right here at 307.70 rejected the price right there, rejected the price right there. So while that still guarantees nothing for us, is it reasonable to think that the price can come up here and push through there? That could create some momentum and potentially carry the price up to that level right there at the 200 period moving average at the 314.30 mark. I think that is a rational thought process to have. Again, not guaranteed to happen, but again, I think a lot of people have probably connected those two areas there and are going to be watching that from a resistance standpoint. In terms of the bulls, well, to give credit's due, there is a bit of a trend line here that has started to form. So keep an eye on that moving forward. And as long as the price can stay above there, that at least implies the price is building higher bases. But from a bigger picture standpoint, in all actuality, even with that upwards move right here, and if I draw, something down like this, this is essentially just a big old upside down bull pennant pattern. So if I put the bull or the golf hole up here, so this would be a bear pennant. Not just because, as I said earlier, bull pennants don't mean the price is going to go up. Bear pennants, bearish patterns don't mean that the price is going to go down. But would it be shocking to see that sort of thing? That would not be shocking at all. But nonetheless, keep a close eye on that 307.70 mark, and let's see if the bulls can try to get some sort of upward momentum on Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you are wanting to be a day trader, you don't have to worry about having lots of money. I mean, you could get literally started for $102 in a market that moves very, very quickly, presents a lot of volatility, is open up basically around the clock. Then make sure you check out that link. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section. But again, if you want to get the current promotions, make sure you use code CLAY. But and I totally understand any skepticism, but like I said, I put my money where my mouth is. It is exactly what I'm doing. And if you want to see what I'm talking about in action, then make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you can be aware of when I live stream, or just swing by the live stream at 11 a.m. Eastern. I usually stream for a few hours, so swing by, ask questions, hang out with us in real time. We'd love to have you. So thanks for watching. Hit that like button and make sure you check out that link and start to become a day trader today.